This will be for the con exercise, features of a circle from its standard equation. All right, just some notes before we begin. The equation of a circle is going to be x minus h, quantity squared, plus y minus k, quantity squared, equals r squared. All right, and h, comma k are the coordinates for the center of the circle, and r is the radius of the circle, or you can say the length of the radius. And that's all you need to know for this exercise. Okay, first question, they give us the equation of the circle, and they want us to find the center. The x and y coordinates are really h, comma k, and also the radius rounded to 2 decimal places. So I am going to write the basic circle equation on top here. All right, we said in the write-up the circle equation is going to be x minus h, quantity squared, plus y minus k, quantity squared, equals r squared. Now, as you can see, we have negative h and negative k. So, if you match up negative h to negative k, right there, we can see that negative h is negative 2/3. All right, and in order to solve for h, just multiply both sides by -1. That will change the sign on both sides of the equation. Okay, so h is 2/3. Now, do you have to go through that process each time? No, you do not. Okay, you can simply look at what number is right here and change the plus minus sign, and you'll have the value for h. Now, as far as y squared is concerned, for me to match it up to this binomial right here, I can make this y minus 0 squared. So let me erase this and make more room. So instead of y squared, I am going to make it y minus 0 squared. Okay, that's the same thing, and it was equal to 36. So I just rewrote the y squared so we can match things up. And as you can see, for this binomial right here, negative k is negative 0, or you can just say k equals 0. All right, so we have the coordinates for the center. We said in the notes the center is h, comma k. All right, and clearly that's going to be 2/3, comma 0. And finally, on the right-hand side of the equal sign, we see that r squared equals 36. And taking the square root of both sides, r equals 6. Okay, I know negative 6 would work also, but we discard or throw away the negative answer because the radius length cannot be negative. So here's the center, and here is the radius. So for the center, the 2/3, 2/3, click tab, and then type 0. So that's h, and that's k. And then for the radius, it was not necessary to round off. It was exactly 6 units. So center and radius. Okay, once again, we have the equation, and they're asking for the center and the radius rounded to 2 decimal places. So again, I'm going to write the circle equation on top. So we said the circle equation is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. All right, and once again, we can just match numbers to letters. We can see here that negative h equals negative 5.2. Multiplying both sides by negative 1 just changes the sign. So h is positive 5.2. All right, same thing with the y coordinate for the center, which is k. We see that negative k is positive 3.7. Okay, negative k is positive 3.7. And if you multiply both sides by negative 1, it changes the sign on both sides. So k is negative 3.7. Now, once again, do you have to go through that process each time? No, you do not. Okay? If you just look at this right here, just change the plus minus sign from negative 5.2 to positive 5.2. If you look at this right here, change the sign from positive 3.7 to negative 3.7. Okay, so we have the center, which is h comma k, and that's going to equal 5.2 comma negative 3.7. All right, and finally, on the right-hand side of the equal sign, the r squared equals 49. All right, solving for r, you just take the square root of both sides. And r equals 7. Okay, not negative 7 because a radius cannot be negative. So those are the two answers, center and radius. All right, so we said 5.2, click tab, negative 3.7. And the radius was 7. It was not necessary to round. We got the radius and the center. All right, last one. I'll do this one the shortcut way. Okay, we said you can just change the plus minus sign on the coordinates. So x squared is the same as x minus 0 squared. So the x coordinate is 0. And this right here, y plus 4, we just make it negative 4, so the y coordinate is negative 4. And the radius squared is 64. You take the square root of 64, and that's 8. And that goes right here. Okay, some of them, you're going to take the square root, and you need to round to 2 decimal places. But the ones I got, you didn't have to do that.